Okay, lesson 4.3, congruent triangles. So here, we're not actually going to prove triangles congruent, but we're just going to talk about the congruent statement. So there's a couple ways you can do this when you're talking about congruent triangles. One is by looking at the markings on the picture. So I know these are kind of hard to see here, but right here these have 1 hash mark, 2 hash marks, and then 3 hash marks. So the hash marks, remember, relate sides. So right here we're talking about side CD. So side CD is right here, the one that has 2 hash marks. So what side in the other triangle has 2 hash marks? And that is this side right here, which is side IJ. Now, you could say IJ, you could say JI, either way, but IJ is technically more correct, and here's why. Now we're going to look up here at our congruent statement. So if you look, C to D corresponds to I to J in this triangle statement. So one way to do it is by the picture and the markings, but the other way to do it is by the congruent statement. Now sometimes they don't give you the congruent statement, all they gives you the picture. So that's the reason we're trying to go through both types. Okay, so here I'm going to do all the markings. So we have 1 arc, 1 arc. We have 3 arcs. And here we have 3 arcs, 2 arcs, 2 arcs, 2 hash marks, 3 hash marks, 2 hash marks, 3 hash marks. And then right here we only have 1 hash mark, and that's because this side right here, ML, is a shared side between the two triangles. Therefore, it's congruent to itself, and we'll talk about that when we look at the congruent statement. But again, right here we're looking at MN, so we find MN, which is right here, which has 2 hash marks. So we look at this one, 2 hash marks, so that would be side MF. Now again, in our congruent statement, we come up here, MN corresponds to MF. The shared side we talked about, ML, they call it LM. LM, it's the same side in the two triangles. Okay, let's go down here. Now we don't have any markings, so we can't use the markings in the picture. We can only use the congruent statement. So I'm looking for RQ. So I come up here, RQ corresponds to HI. So I'm going to put HI. Alright, let's go to the next one. XY. So XY corresponds to WK. WK. So then we write WK segment. What if you don't have a picture at all? What if all you have is a congruent statement? Well, we can still do that. So we look right here, ED. ED corresponds to DE. DE. So we write DE here. Alright, then what if we actually have to write the actual congruent statement itself? So here it says, write a statement that indicates the triangles in each pair are congruent. So we want to say triangle. Now, we just pick a random order for the first one. So for this first triangle, I'm going to go TUV. So triangle TUV is congruent to triangle. Now I have to go to the other one. Well, here's where our marks matter. So at T, I have 1, 2, 3 arcs. So I come over here to the other triangle. The one that has 3 arcs is the angle F. Then I did U. U has 1 arc. So I come in this triangle. The one that has 1 arc is D. And then I ended with V over here, 2 arcs. E has 2 arcs over here. So that would be my triangle congruent statement. And the order of the first triangle does not matter as long as this one matches up. So if I'd gone UVT, then here I would have gone DEF. So again, they just have to match up. Okay, let's look at this one. Make the angles and sides of each pair of triangles to indicate that they are congruent, or mark the angles and sides. So here we have a triangle congruent statement. I just have to mark the stuff. So I start here with T. So at T, I'm going to put one arc. Well, I have to look in the other one. T corresponds to Z. So I come over here to Z, and I put one arc. The next one is U, right here. So I'm going to put two arcs at U. And what U correspond to? U goes with Y. So I come over in this other triangle, and I put two arcs at Y. So then that means V has 3 arcs, X has 3 arcs. Then I have to do my sides. Now the sides can be a little bit trickier sometimes, but we do the same thing. T to U. So T to U, I'm going to put one hash mark. T to U goes Z to Y. So Z to Y, one hash mark. All right, next, U to V, U to V. I'm going to put 2 hash marks. So U to V goes with Y to X, Y to X, so 2 hash marks. So then the last one is going to be T to V, Z to X. So T to V, 1, 2, 3, Z to X, 1, 2, 3. And that's how you mark them so that they are congruent. So hopefully this has made sense, marking angles and sides, because we're going to have to use this quite a bit over the next 2 lessons as we learn to prove that triangles are congruent.